Part 25. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Ching Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 241. Chapter 241 Xingxia Garment Factory. I just didn't expect that your grandparents would actually spread rumors that I ran away with a man. They are so vicious, it's obviously their son's fault. Qian Yuyo said with a heavy face. It turns out that so many things happened that year, and I have no memory at all. Zhao Dongmei said, you were still young at that time, so it was normal not to know. Sure enough, there was a reason why his mother left back then. Qian Yuyo's father must be too disgusting. He is unclean and wants to infect his wife with the disease. If it were me, I would leave for the sake of my health and not to be beaten anymore. I agree with you upstairs, as long as you are not stupid, you will run away. Men who visit prostitutes are really the dirtiest. Qian Yuyu asked again, Mom, where do you live now? Zhao Dongmei hesitated for a moment and decided to tell the truth. After your father and I divorced, we remarried. Now we live in the community in front of us and have 2 more children, 1 boy and 1 girl. Qian Yuyu smiled and said, then I have younger brothers and sisters. Zhao Dongmei added, Yuyu, I know I'm sorry for you. If you add me on WeChat, I will try my best to send you money every month. But my salary is not high, so I can't give you much. Qian Yuyu took out his mobile phone and added Zhao Dongmei's WeChat account, but he was not doing it for money. Mom, I have money. Dad was in a car accident before, and the party responsible for it paid a lot of money. Grandma only has 1 grandson, me. I will have more money in the future, it depends on me, so you gave me most of the money, which is enough for me to study and get married, so you don't need to give me any more money. Zhao Dongmei was stunned. Your father is dead? What about your stepmother? Qian Yuyu, yes, my stepmother divorced my father before his car accident. Grandma said that my stepmother had no chance of getting rich. On the first day after she divorced, my father had a car accident, and she also I wanted to come back and share the money, but my grandma drove me away. I heard that she regretted it so much that she would not have divorced if she had known better. Zhao Dongmei smiled, it seems like it's really retribution. Haha, it's retribution. This is a cool plot. I also want to be widowed and still have money to take. I want to. I really want to do it too. That's enough for you, go and dream about it. Qian Yuyu talked to his mother again, agreed on a time to meet next time, and then separated. Chance Qian Yuyu returned to the live broadcast room and said, Anchor, thank you so much. You are really great. Qiao Ningxuan, you're welcome. I'll ask for fortune telling next time. Welcome to come again. Okay. Qiao Ningxun quickly downloaded the broadcast and went to bed. After 12 o'clock, she went to Gasugu to practice again. At 4 o'clock, Qiao Ningxun opened his eyes and opened the book of immortal magic formulas. Sure enough, today I unlocked another immortal spell, teleportation. Teleport, which means literally, after she chants the incantation, she can instantly appear where she wants to appear. Same as before, the more spiritual power in her body, the farther she can teleport. Qiao Ningxun couldn't wait to try it again, and sure enough, in just an instant, she appeared in her own room in Daguo village. She read it again, and she returned to Gushigo. She was very satisfied. With this formula, it would be more convenient for her to practice in the future. She can even travel to all parts of the country and the world without transportation. While there was still time, she could teleport anyway, faster than before, so she picked some herbs and went back to make them. At 8 o'clock in the morning, after seeing off the people who brought the fungi, Qiao Ningxun was also preparing to go out. Qiao Shulan didn't go to the shop today. After all, Qiao Ningxun was still a minor. If she wanted to do anything, she had to have an adult around her so that others would trust her. Seeing that his second aunt and cousin were about to go out, He Yuanhui asked curiously, "Where are you going?" "Qiaoning Suan, when I was doing fortune telling yesterday, I knew that a clothing factory was going to close down. I wanted to go and have a look. If it's suitable, I would buy the factory." He Yuanhui was a little hesitant, not sure whether he should say it or not. Seeing this, Qiaoning Sun smiled and said, "Cousin, if you have anything to say, just say it." He Yuanhui could only say, "Cousin, I also want to buy jadeite rough." He wants to save more money while he is young now. Qiaoning Sun said, "I thought it was something. Let's see if I'm free tomorrow. I have to go to the garment factory today. You can come with me. I'll leave the homework to be written in the evening." He Yuanhui said, "Okay, I will listen to my cousin." The three of them soon arrived at the bus stop. After arriving in the city, the three of them took a taxi to the clothing factory where Qiaoning Sun had arrived yesterday. At this time, a large group of people gathered at the door of the garment factory. A group of people saw the factory director coming and quickly gathered around him. "Director, didn't you say there are still a few days until the closure? Why did it suddenly close today?" "Yes, factory director, what about the half-year salary we haven't paid yet?" "Director, is there really nothing we can do? We really can't bear to part with this factory, we have been doing this for decades." "Yes, factory director, please think of a way. We are so old and we can't find a job even if we go out." Director Joe looked at the people surrounding him and sighed, "I'm sorry, I'm old and I don't have the energy I used to have. I don't want to persevere anymore and I don't want to worry about sales every day. Don't worry, this factory it's mine. I owe you the wages. I will pay you the wages after I sell the machines and materials in the factory." Chen Fugui said with a sad look on his face, "Director Joe, we are reluctant to leave." Wei Qiling also said, "Yes, it will be difficult for us to find such a good job in the future." After the two of them finished speaking, they felt very uneasy. Yesterday, Chang Sheng and Chang Sheng said that their jobs can be kept, but today the factories have been closed. How can they still keep their jobs? Director Joe patted Chen Fugui on the shoulder and said, "You have good abilities and are very serious about your work. You are considered a craftsman. It should be easy to work in other places in the future." Chen Fugui smiled bitterly and said, "Okay, I'll lend you some good advice." Wei Qiling casually glanced to the side and saw Qiaoning Sun and three others coming over. She asked doubtfully, "Director Joe, are they your friends?" Director Joe looked to the side, looked at the three of them for a few seconds, then shook his head and said, "No, I guess they came here to find someone." Just as he finished speaking, the three people walked towards him. Qiaoning Sun asked, "Is this the Xingxia garment factory?" Director Joe stepped forward and said, "Yes, who are you?" "Qiaoning Sun, I heard that your factory is going to close down. I want to come and take a look. If it is suitable, I will buy this garment factory." Chen Fugui and Wei Qiling were shocked. Yesterday, the anchor said that they could find jobs. In fact, what he really meant was that someone wanted to take over this garment factory. Other employees were immediately delighted. If someone could take over, they would not have to be laid off. End of this chapter. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 242. Chapter 242. Something happened to the fourth child. Factory director Joe was also very excited. The factory's capital chain was actually broken. If someone could invest or simply buy it, it might really be possible to bring it back to life. Director Joe hurriedly asked, "What do you call me?" Qiaoning Sun and the three of them handed over their business cards together. Director Joe glanced at it and said seriously, "Are you so sure that I will sell the factory?" Qiaoning Sun, actually, Director Joe is very reluctant to close the factory, and for the sake of those hundreds of workers, you will definitely agree. Director Joe smiled and said, "Okay, then you can come and take a look first, and then decide whether to buy it." Chiaoning Sun, "Okay." Other workers were also very curious and wanted to follow them, wanting to know firsthand whether the garment factory could be sold. Chen Fugui stopped them, "There are too many of us, so let's let them watch quietly, so as not to give people a bad impression and stop buying." Chiaoningsun and the other three watched for a long time, and finally came to Director Joe's office. Director Joe said, "You have all seen that one of the reasons why my garment factory closed down was because I replaced a batch of very good machines the year before last, and those machines were worth a lot of money. Last year I went to Mr. Feng Shui and said that if you renovate this place, you can make a lot of money, so the walls and other furniture are not very old. The most important thing is that I spent a lot of money to build the house here. The materials used are very good. And for this land, I signed a one-time contract for 50 years, and now I have 25 years left to pay once a year." Chiaoningsun nodded, "I understand, Director Joe, please give me a price." Factory Director Joe was stunned, looked at Chiaoningsun, and then at Chiao Shulan, "Which of you makes the decision to buy the factory?" Chiao Shulan smiled and said, "My daughter is buying it. She is not yet a minor. I am here today as a supervisor." Director Joe didn't think much, and stretched out his palm, 10 million, "I will transfer everything in the factory to you, but I have conditions." She was probably a young lady from a certain family. The family members were practicing her investment skills. He had seen her before. "This is not expensive. Chiaoningsun, you tell me, as long as it's reasonable, I can agree to any number." Director Joe said, "First, you must keep all the previous employees in my factory. They are all people who have been with me for a long time, and they are all very good at their craftsmanship. I have already eliminated those who were sneaky and sneaky. Ken. Second, whatever treatment I gave them before, you must also give them the same treatment after you take over. It must be better than I was before, not worse than I was before. Also. Third, I'm going to say it shamelessly. I'm only in my 50s, and I still have some time before retirement. I hope you can arrange a job for me before I retire. It can be any job, including cleaning. As long as I can stay in the factory every day. Sure, it's easy. Fourth, if you later feel that some people are not qualified for the jobs you give them, and you take the initiative to fire them, you must compensate them in accordance with national regulations. Of course, I am a good law-abiding citizen and I will not do anything illegal. Fifth, I haven't thought of it yet. I'll add it when I think of it, but I won't embarrass you." Chiaoningsun nodded, "Okay, let's settle it for the time being. Today is Saturday, and some procedures cannot be completed. We will go through the procedures on Monday. After I confirm that the legal person has been completely changed, I will transfer the money, call you." Director Joe said, "Okay. Chiaoningsun, then let's sign a contract first." Director Joe, "Okay." There is a printer in the garment factory, and Director Joe also asked a lawyer friend to come over and help them draft an agreement. It was added that Chiaoningsun would first pay a deposit of 100,000, and after all the procedures were completed and the legal person was completely changed, Chiaoningsun would transfer the remaining money to Director Joe in one lump sum. Of course, if someone else comes to buy the factory in the future, Director Joe cannot sell it to anyone else, otherwise he will have to pay a liquidated damages of 1 million. After the signing was completed, Chiaoningsun said seriously, "Let them rest for a few days during this period. I will take over after the formalities are completed. You should also comfort them. She has heard of the people from Xingxia Garment Factory in her previous life. They are all good employees with excellent skills. She doesn't want to have to work hard to find other employees, which is tiring and time-consuming. The owners of the factory watched Jiao Ningxun and 3 others leave the Xingxia garment factory. As soon as they left, the workers couldn't wait to come to factory director Zhou. Factory director, what's going on? Are they really here to buy the factory? Have you sold it to them too? Director Zhou smiled and said, if you sell it, I will continue to work here and we will work together. The most important thing is that I will have money to pay you wages. Very good. All employees immediately cheered. Director Zhou added, I have signed an agreement with the new factory director. After the procedures are completed, you can continue to work. I told the new factory director that you will not be fired for the time being, but if you don't do well, you will still be fired. So you must not try to deceive the new factory director because she is young, do you understand? Everyone said at the same time, I know. Director Zhou, don't worry, we cherish this job. That's right, we're not lazy people, you know. We will work harder. Director Zhou was immediately relieved. Jiao Ningxun and his group waited for the bus on the side of the road after leaving Xingxia garment factory. Jiao Shulan said, Ningxun, are you okay? Why don't we take taxis separately, and I'll go back to Jiao's fresh food first. Jiao Ningxun smiled and said, Mom, please do me one more favor. What are you busy with? You'll find out later. As soon as she finished speaking, Jiao Shulan suddenly received a call from Xiangchaman. Chu man, what's the matter? Xiangchaman cried and said, Second sister, what should I do? I really don't know what to do, so I can only trouble you. Jiao Ningxun saw that Jiao Shulan's face was a little ugly, so she quickly pressed the speaker phone. Jiao Shulan, Chu man, don't be anxious. Speak slowly. I'll help you find a solution if something happens. Xiangchaman explained the matter slowly. It turned out that when Jiao Jianru was at work a few days ago, he met an old man who had fallen down on the road. He was kind-hearted and helped the old man without thinking. It's just that the old man was old. When he passed by, the old man had fallen unconscious, so he helped dial the emergency number and sent the old man to the hospital together with the ambulance. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 243. After being sent to the hospital, he left his phone number and left. The old man's body was examined by a doctor and his hands, feet, and waist were injured, and it would cost a lot of money to cure them. But unexpectedly, after the old man woke up, he told his family that the person who sent him here bumped into him. Last Saturday, the old man's family called Jiao Jianru. At first they said they wanted to thank him and asked him for his address. But last Sunday they went to Jiao Jianru's residence and actually insisted that it was Jiao Jianru who pushed the old man and asked him to pay medical expenses and compensation, which totaled 500,000 yuan. Not to mention that Jiao Jianru's family doesn't have so much money now. Even if he did, he shouldn't give it to him. He sent the old man to the hospital out of kindness. But the old man's family refused to listen to Jiao Jianru's explanation and insisted on asking him to give him money. Jiao Jian had no choice but to call the police. Only the police investigated the nearby surveillance, but failed to capture how the old man fell. Jiao Jianru had no choice but to hold up signs at the place where the old man fell this week, looking for witnesses. It only took a week to search, but not a single witness was found. The old man's family members even made trouble in front of Jiao Jianru's house every day, making it impossible for the whole family to work, and even their children did not dare to go to school. Xiangchaman cried and said, Second sister, I really can't hold on anymore, so I can only call you. I want to ask if you know any good lawyers who can introduce them to me. It's impossible for me to give them money, your fourth brother will never lie. They said that if we don't give it, they will sue us in court. Xiao Shulan worriedly said, it's been so long, why did you just call me now? It's not that I don't beat him, Xiang Chemin said, you also know your brother's temperament. He doesn't want to trouble you too much. Now I beat him quietly in the toilet when he doesn't notice me. Xiao Shulan, but I don't know any lawyers either. Xiao Ningxun raised her eyebrows and said, fourth aunt, I can help you solve this matter. Xiang Chemin said anxiously, Ningxun, do you really have any solution? Xiao Ningxun smiled confidently, that's right, just wait at home. Also, open the door now, turn on the recording on your phone, and collect evidence for them to slander you. Xiang Chemin hesitated, after opening the door, your uncle and I will definitely be scolded. Xiao Ningxun, you should be patient for now. This is also to let them get retribution. Xiang Chemin hesitated for a moment and nodded, okay, I will listen to you. Hang up the phone, Xiang Chemin told her husband what Xiao Ningxun thought. I know you don't want to trouble them, but the situation at home has gotten better and better since Ningxun came back. She can definitely help us. Xiao Jianru didn't blame her, Ningxun will definitely not lie to us. I heard my sister said that she knows many capable people, so we will listen to her. Good. The two locked the two children in the room, prepared their mobile phones to record, and opened the door. When the people outside saw that the door was finally opened, they started pointing their noses and swearing. Xiao Jianru, you are finally willing to open the door, you must pay money today, otherwise we will not leave. You hit someone and you should pay for it. I heard from your neighbor that you own a house. If you sell the house, you can pay for it. That's right, if you hit someone, you have to pay compensation. My old man is still in the hospital waiting to pay the surgery fee. Don't be so cruel and let him suffer in the hospital. It's only $500,000. I heard that your salary is not bad. Your wife can make money at home, so you should give it to her quickly. We haven't had a good rest these days. If we go to court, it won't be just $500,000. Xiao Jianru frowned and said, I said it wasn't me who hit him, so why do you insist that I hit your old man and let the real murderer go free? The middle-aged man said, my dad said you were the one who hit him. Doesn't he know who he hit? Xiao Jianru, from the time I saw your dad on the ground to the time I sent your dad to the hospital and left, I didn't see him open his eyes. He never saw my face from the beginning to the end. How did he know that did I hit it? Middle-aged man, if you didn't hit anyone, why did you send him to the hospital? You even left his phone number. Xiao Jianru, I just felt sorry for your dad, so I sent him there. The nurse asked me to leave the phone number. I didn't think much about it, so I left it. If he knew it was such a trouble, he should have called the emergency number and left. No wonder the old man fell to the ground and no one could save him. Everyone was afraid of getting into trouble. He thought that he would not be so unlucky and encounter unreasonable people, but he did not expect that he would actually encounter them. The middle-aged man snorted, you have a guilty conscience, that's why you sent my dad to the hospital. Don't talk nonsense, just give us the money quickly. If we don't get the money for one day, we won't leave. Xiao Jianru had no choice but to close the door again when they were not paying attention. Xiang Chemin pressed the recording end button on her phone and said solemnly, do we have to wait now? Xiao Jianru nodded, just wait, Ningxun will definitely find a way. On the other side, Xiao Ningxun contacted Xiao Jianru and asked him to send her the specific location where he would help the old man. After receiving the news, Xiao Ningxun turned around and said, Mom, cousin, you guys go back to Xiao's fresh food first. I'll find you after I finish handling the matter. He Yuanhui asked with concern, cousin, can you do it alone? Don't worry, it will definitely work. After Xiao Ningxun finished speaking, he ran behind a building. After confirming that no one was around, She used teleportation to quickly reach the place where the old man fell. As she thought, few people come here. Perhaps because of this, there is no monitoring. Going to a secluded and uninhabited place, she used the last word again and returned to the first 2 minutes of the day when the old man fell. Soon, an old man appeared in front of Xiaoningsun. Just beside the old man, there was actually a young man at the beginning. Xiaoningsun immediately took out his mobile phone and started recording. They can't see her anyway. The young man kept praying beside him, "Grandpa, I really like that pair of sneakers. They only cost 1,000 yuan. My parents don't give me money. Give it to me. I'm your only grandson." The old man frowned and said, "Grandpa, I don't have much money either. 1,000 yuan is enough for a family to eat for a month. Can't we wear dozens of pairs of shoes? I have never worn more than 40 shoes in my life piece." "Young man, anyway, you have a pension. If you use it up this month, you will have another one next month. Young people today are different from you back then. If I don't dress better, my peers will look down on me. Oh my, I won't have any friends. And I'm your grandson. If you don't spend money on me, who else can you spend it on?" Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 244. The old man looked at his grandson's hopeful eyes and finally took out the plastic bag on his body. He slowly opened the bag, took out a stack of red bills, and planned to start counting. But when the young man saw that the old man had brought so much money, his eyes suddenly lit up. He suddenly snatched the old man's money and ran away quickly. When the old man was anxious, he wanted to chase him. After just a few steps, he stepped on a rock, fell to the ground and fainted. And the young man actually ran away without looking back, not caring about his own grandfather's life or death. During this period, several people passed by the old man one after another, but no one offered a helping hand. After a while, Xiao Jianru appeared. He nervously stepped forward to check the old man's breathing to make sure he was still breathing, and called the old man several times. Seeing that the old man did not respond, he called the emergency number. At this time, the old man was also surrounded by passers-by. The ambulance arrived soon after, and Xiao Jianru also got into the ambulance. Xiaoningsun ended the recording. By observing the old man's face just now, she already knew where the old man lived. With the teleportation formula in mind, she went to the hospital where the old man was, and the time was changed to evening. Soon, Xiaoningsun came to the old man's ward. The old man's family members are all in the old man's ward. By this time, the old man had already undergone one operation, and would have to undergo a second and third operation. "Dad has always been fine, why did he suddenly fall down?" "Yeah, luckily he was taken to the hospital by kind people, otherwise we would have lost our father. The doctor told me just now that we should prepare at least 100,000 yuan, and it may not be enough. Dad is too careless, we have to spend money on everything at home, how can we come up with 100,000 yuan? I just checked Dad's body and found that the plastic bag he had been carrying money in was gone, and all the money was gone. Dad was robbed, and he fell down suddenly because he was chasing the robber. Probably." Suddenly, a middle-aged woman noticed that her son had bought a new pair of shoes, which she had not agreed to buy before. The middle-aged woman immediately came to her son and said sternly, "Did you go buy new shoes today?" The young man trembled and nodded nervously. The middle-aged woman smelled her son's clothes again, frowned and said, "You went to eat hot pot?" The young man hesitated and said, "Yes, my friend invited me to eat." "Then your friend bought your shoes too?" "No, I bought it myself." "Where did you get the money?" "Me." Snapped. The middle-aged woman suddenly slapped her son and said angrily, "Today, after your grandfather went out, you ran out with him. Did you steal your grandfather's money? Your grandfather was chasing you, so he fell down. And you didn't care about your grandfather and ran away. No, no, no. The young man was afraid of being misunderstood and hurriedly explained, I didn't know that grandpa fell. If I knew, I wouldn't have been able to run away. If I knew that grandpa was in the hospital, I would definitely not play outside. It took me so long to buy shoes. Everyone suddenly shook their heads and stared at the young man closely. The middle-aged woman said in disbelief, it was you who really caused your grandpa to fall, and you also robbed your grandpa of all his money. Seeing that he had been exposed, the young man could only nod his head. I robbed grandpa's money, but I didn't know he would fall. I was wrong. I will never dare to do it again. A middle-aged man also slapped the young man, you unfilial son, kneel down in front of your grandpa's bed. Get up whenever he wakes up. Although the young man was unwilling, he was afraid of being beaten again, so he could only agree and slowly knelt down. Several people gathered together again to discuss. What should I do? It's one of our own who harmed our own family. I thought we could find the murderer so we don't have to pay for the medical expenses. Actually, we can also pretend that my son didn't do this. Didn't someone send Dad to the hospital? Let's just blame him. After all, there's no surveillance there. He can't prove himself even if he does. If you are innocent, we can blackmail you for a lot of money. Isn't this a bad thing? Others are kind enough to help, but we wrongly accuse them. What's the matter? Haven't you heard a saying? Good people don't live long, but bad people live for thousands of years. In this world, you can only live well if you are a bad person. You're right, I just want to change my car, and I still don't have enough money. That's right, just do it. The old man on the bed woke up at some point, and the young man immediately called his parents over. The old man listened to all their words and said with a weak face, you can't lie to others. Middle-aged man, Dad, but to treat you, we need a lot of money. Our family is not very rich to begin with. If we have that money, our life will be better. The old man suddenly stopped talking. The middle-aged man turned around and smiled, look, the old man agreed, and we will go find that person tomorrow. Others nodded at the same time, okay. Chiao Ningxun stood for a while longer, but couldn't record what he wanted. He ended the recording angrily and returned to the vicinity of Chiao's fresh food house. She quickly ran into the store. Chiao Shulan and He Yuanhui had just arrived at the store not long ago, and were surprised to see Chiao Ningxun back so soon. Seeing Chiao Ningxun go to the lounge, they followed him. She bought a computer before and put it in the lounge so that her mother could watch videos to relieve her boredom when there were few guests. She first sent the video to Chiao Jianru, and then transferred the video to the computer to show it to Chiao Shulan and He Yuanhui, who followed. You can also watch it on a mobile phone, but the screen is too small. 20 minutes later. Chiao Shulan was angry, this family has gone too far. It is obviously their own family's fault. They actually want to make a fortune through blackmail. He Yuanhui also said, it's really vicious. In order to live a good life for myself, I actually forced my fourth uncle like this. After watching the video, Chiao Jianru and Xiang Chemin suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. Chiao Jianru smiled and said, so this is the truth of the matter. Xiang Chemin asked, where did Ningxun get the video? Did she find a witness who happened to record the video? Chiao Jianru nodded, that's the only way it can be. I just don't know how she found it in a short time. Xiang Chemin said, don't worry about this for now, let's go and drive those people away. Chiao Jianru thought of the news that Chiao Ningxun just shared, and said sternly, they have made us suffer so much. We can't work this week, we have lost a lot of money, our children can't go to school, they have missed a lot of homework, and we have to find a teacher make up lessons, I don't want to just let them go. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Ching Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 245. Xiang Chemin said, "You are right, let them go like this. In order to get money, they will definitely do the same thing again and there will be more victims." Xiao Jianru nodded and quickly called the police. 5 minutes later, a group of policemen suddenly appeared at the door. The leader said, "Come with us, someone will accuse you of extortion." The middle-aged man was stunned and said, "We are not blackmailing you. You have been here before and we have explained that the male owner of this house hit my old father and is still lying in the hospital. I am asking them for money." The old policeman suddenly showed them a video. After a while, the old policeman said, "What else do you have to say?" The middle-aged woman whispered to the middle-aged man, "How could it be? How could the police have that video? How could someone in the ward be recording the video?" The middle-aged man was extremely nervous. "I don't know either. I didn't expect that someone would take so much video evidence. He definitely wouldn't be able to get away easily this time." The old policeman said hello, and the other policeman took away everyone at the door. Seeing that only the police were at the door, Xiao Jianru quickly opened the door and said excitedly, "Uncle policeman, thank you very much. I also hope that the law can give me justice so that the bad guys can get the retribution they deserve." The old policeman nodded, said a few words, and left. Xiao Jianru breathed a sigh of relief when he saw that the door was finally quiet. "I finally left." Xiang Chemin said, "They are so abominable, we can't let them go like this, we go to the lawyers and let the lawyers deal with them." Xiao Jianru nodded, "Okay." Later, because Xiao Jianru had video evidence in hand, he could fully conclude that the old man's family was extorting money, and was sentenced to pay tens of thousands to Xiao Jianru as compensation for mental damages. Of course, this is something. Xiao Shulan hung up the phone and breathed a sigh of relief. "Ning Xuan, thanks to you, the person has been taken away by the police." "Xiao Ning Xuan, it's okay, Mom, I should do everything." Xiao Ning Xuan saw that it was still early for lunch, so she asked her mother and cousin to follow her out. Sitting in the taxi, He Yuanhui asked, "Cousin, where are we going?" "You'll find out later." More than 10 minutes later, the taxi stopped in front of a Ford store. He Yuanhui stood at the door of the Ford store and asked curiously, "Cousin, do you want to buy a car?" "Yes," Xiao Ningxun said as he walked, "now that we have money, it's time to change the way we travel. Buy a few cars, and it will be more convenient for us to travel in the future." She already has hundreds of millions in savings, so she doesn't have to work as hard as before. She has to take buses or taxis to get around. Xiao Shulan asked, "But no one in our family has a driver's license." "Xiao Ningxuan, it's okay, we just need to hire a few drivers. It's the same as buying a truck and letting people drive it." "Xiao Shulan, that's okay too. My daughter has more than 100 million in her hands, and a few drivers can still afford it." With her daughter's secret ability, the money in her hands will only get more and more. The salesperson saw someone coming and came over to receive him warmly. Although the three of them look like ordinary people, even though they all sell luxury cars here, the salespeople don't give them any bad looks. Master said that in today's world, the richer people are, the more low-key they are. After some exchanges, a male salesman led the three of them to the display area. Xiao Ningxun came to see a BMW and didn't plan to buy one that was too expensive. A car worth about 1 million would be enough. She has no requirements for a car, as long as it can travel. So she took a look at the models present and came to a car that she thought had the most beautiful appearance. "Mom, cousin, what do you think of this car?" He Yuanhui looked at the surrounding models curiously and put it on the table. Before, he never dared to think that he could enter here and choose a car at will. Hearing his cousin call him, he came back to his senses, glanced at the car that his cousin had chosen, and said with a smile, "It looks good." This car is very good looking. Xiao Shulan said, I don't know much about cars, but just from the appearance, it's really good. The salesperson next to him was extremely happy. Sure enough, the predecessors were right. When women buy cars, they only look at their appearance. Take them to the most beautiful car without him wasting any time. Although the seniors asked him not to waste any more words, he still briefly talked about the characteristics of the car. After waiting for the salesman to explain, Chiao Ningsun asked, how much is the landing price of this car? The salesperson asked again, do you want to pay in full or get a mortgage? Chiao Ningsun, of course it's the full payment. Although the salesperson wants them to get a mortgage, she thinks that she still has the space to pay the full amount. If the child doesn't buy a car to her liking, she will change her mind and can only agree. Sales stated a number. Chiao Ningsun nodded. More than 1 million was not expensive, but she still bargained for it. With her ability, it is not impossible to buy a car worth tens of millions. But it is too high profile and it will definitely affect her life now. There will be many opportunities to buy in the future. Sales was a little embarrassed, little girl, you cut too hard. Chiao Ningsun raised her eyebrows, can't you sell it? Then I'll go somewhere else. Although she has a lot of money, she can't waste it. Every little bit she can save counts. The salesperson was very helpless and said, wait a moment, I'll ask my boss, is that okay? Ken. Sales asked them to sit in the rest area and went to find their boss. He Yuny asked anxiously, will they refuse to agree? Chiao Ningsun whispered, they will definitely agree. Usually when they say they want to go to their boss, they actually agree, but the process will take a while. He Yuan's eyes widened, in other words, it's all a routine? Did it show it to us on purpose? Yes, life is like a play, it all depends on acting skills, Chiao Ningsun said with a smile, he will be here soon. Sure enough, as soon as she finished speaking, the salesperson came back. My boss said I can give you this price. Chiao Ningsun helplessly spread her hands to her mother and cousin. The two parties talked some more, such as discussing gifts, etc., and soon took them to go through the formalities. Just seeing Chiao Ningsun's ID card that he was only 16 years old, he was even more shocked. Others buy luxury cars at the age of 16, but he is still selling luxury cars at the age of 26. After paying the money, Chiao Ningsun saw that he Yuny had been looking around a car, looking like he was very fond of it, and said leisurely, cousin, you are not yet 18 years old, and you don't have a driver's license. Wait 2 years, come and buy it again. No, my cousin will give you one. It can be as expensive as you want. He Yuny was instantly happy, thank you very much, cousin. Originally, he wanted to say that his cousin didn't need to buy it because he had money. But the money he has now is about the same as what his cousin gave him for free, so what he buys is considered a gift from his cousin in the end. Salesman's eyes suddenly lit up, he also wanted to have a cousin like this. Little sister, are you still missing a cousin? End of chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 246. Like last time, Chiao Ningsun completed all the procedures and left the car at the Ford's shop. After getting the official license plate on Monday, he would have it driven away. One car was definitely not enough, so Chiao Ningsun went to other Ford stores and bought 2 more cars. One is a commercial vehicle, specially used for Chiao Shulan and Chiao's fresh food employees to travel between the city and Daguo village. One is a Porsche, specially used by grandparents and mother to drive when they want to go out to visit relatives or go shopping. Similarly, They stay in the store and wait until the license plate is put on Monday before letting them drive away. After leaving the Four's store, the three of them went to a nearby restaurant for a meal. After eating, Chiao Ningsun asked, "Mom, who else in the village has good driving skills?" "Chiao Shulan, are you looking for someone in the village?" "Chiao Ningsun, if there is a suitable one, I will look for it in the village. If there is no suitable one, I will find someone to introduce him." Chiao Shulan nodded, thought about it, and frowned. "Then only a few of your uncles can drive. The others either have jobs or have grievances with us. There are also some young people who can drive, but they all have their jobs, and some of them have pretty good jobs. Uncles are definitely not good enough," Chiao Ningsun said. "Then I'd better find someone to introduce you. Let her uncles get her car keys, and her car will probably no longer be her car." Chiao Ningsun picked up the phone and put it back in her bag. "Forget it, she'd better not trouble others." Chiao Shulan said, "Who are you going to introduce to me?" Chiao Ningsun said with a smile, "I originally wanted to ask someone to introduce me, but after thinking about it, it would be too much trouble for others. My cousin and I will go to the talent market. With my fortune-telling ability, I guarantee that I will get it back. People are reliable people." Chiao Shulan nodded. This is indeed possible. She also knows that her daughter's fortune-telling ability is indeed very powerful. After Chiao Ningsun asked her cousin's opinion, seeing that he had no problem, he took a taxi and walked to the nearest job market. There are several talent markets in Nanjing. Regardless of whether it is a working day or not, there are always many companies recruiting and there are many people applying. 20 minutes later, Chiao Ningsun and He Yuanhui appeared in the talent market on the second floor of a building. He Yuanhui didn't understand anything and followed his cousin obediently. Soon, Chiao Ningsun came to a stall, took a look at the recruitment content, and stood not far away. He Yuanhui asked doubtfully, "Cousin, don't you need to set up a stall?" Chiao Ningsun, "No need, we will just find 3 people, so we won't waste the money. We are recruiting here, but you have to pay the stall fee." He Yuanhui originally wanted to ask her how to recruit people, but seeing that she was staring at the front seriously, he didn't bother her. He would find out later anyway. Soon, a man came to the booth with his resume, sat down, and handed his resume to the personnel. The HR officer took a look and asked, "Zhangfushan, you only have a C1 driver's license. Do you have a driver's license for a large truck?" Zhangfushan was stunned. "No, I think you are just asking for C1. Personnel said, "It is true that only C1 is required, but the company also has large trucks. Sometimes large truck drivers ask for leave and ask to work on the big truck shift, so it is best to get a driver's license for a large truck." Zhangfushan said, "But I don't have one." Personnel also guessed that he didn't have one, otherwise he would have just taken out the driver's license for a large truck. "Since you don't have one, then you don't meet our requirements. You can find other jobs." Zhangfushan said anxiously, "Please hire me. When I get a job, I will take the time to take the driver's license test for a large truck. I guarantee that I will pass the test within 3 months, okay?" "No. Please give me a job. If I can't find a job again, my children will starve to death. I drive very steadily. Since I got my driver's license, I haven't had a single violation or accident. The accident happened, and I don't drink. I get allergic when I drink, and I will never drink and drive." The HR officer frowned and said, "Don't make things difficult for me. We all work for others. I will hire whomever the boss wants me to hire. If I really hire you back, if the boss is not happy, both of us will lose our jobs." Hearing this, Zhangfushan didn't want to bother anymore and took his resume to look for other jobs. Chiao Ningsun counted with his fingers and concluded that this person was a good one, so he asked He Yuanhui to call him over. Zhangfushan was walking depressedly in the middle of the stall, looking at the recruitment posters on both sides, when suddenly a man came to him and said, "We can give you a job, come with us." Zhang Fuxian immediately followed He Yuanhui excitedly and came to Jiaoning Sun. Seeing that both of them were very young, Zhang Fuxian's heart suddenly went cold. It must be just a prank played by two children. Jiaoning Sun knew what Zhang Fuxian was thinking by looking at his eyes, and said with a smile, "Zhang Fuxian, right." Zhang Fuxian was stunned. How do you know my name?" Jiaoning Sun said, "You don't have to worry about this. Show me your resume. If it's suitable, I can give you a job soon." Zhang Fuxian hesitated for a moment, then handed over his resume. Jiaoning Sun glanced at it briefly and said seriously, "You are qualified. If you are willing, come and work here. The probation period is 3001 month, and the probation period is 2 months. Let me see your performance in these 2 months, decide how much salary to increase for you." This man's character is not bad. Zhang Fuxian was delighted. 3,000 a month? Is it true? Jiaoning Sun, really, the job is very simple, just pick up and drop off my family. Especially on Saturdays and Sundays, when we have to go home from school or go somewhere, we need you to drive. In other words, when we arrive on Monday, Thursday is easier, and Friday to Sunday is busier. In addition, sometimes I don't need a car and I need your help in the store, so it won't be too tiring. In order to convince Zhang Fuxian that she was not a liar, Jiaoning Sun showed him a photo of her Chiao's Fresh Food business license. "This is my store, Chiao's Fresh, and a clothing factory, but the ownership has not yet been transferred." Zhang Fuxian breathed a sigh of relief. If there was a company, it would be impossible for him to be tricked. "I heard that some parents from wealthy families will let their children come out to exercise in advance. This is probably the case for these two children." Zhang Fuxian said, "I can do it." Jiaoning Sun smiled and said, "Then you go back and rest today. When I notify you, this resume will stay with me. I will notify you to sign the formal contract within 3 days." Zhang Fuxian asked doubtfully, "Don't you want physical examination reports and health certificates?" Jiaoning Sun said, "I know how to read faces. Just by looking at you, I can tell whether you are healthy and whether you have a health certificate." Zhang Fuxian was surprised. This child can actually read faces? Haven't he really been deceived? End of chapter. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 247. Although he was suspicious, he didn't ask any more questions and went home first. It is not easy to find a job recently. He has been unemployed for a long time and has been looking for a job for a long time. He is old and has no money, so there is no need for the child to lie to him. He is still willing to believe her. After Zhang Fuxian left, He Yuanhui asked, "Cousin, is his family really that difficult?" Jiaoning Sun nodded, "Yes. The previous company where he worked fired him because the boss recruited relatives into the company and no longer needed him. He looked for a job for 2 months and couldn't find one. His wife was frail and sick. Has no job, has 3 children at home, all of whom are studying, and has to pay rent. He has to make money all by himself. The 2 months without a job have exhausted his savings. He is an honest man and does not want to ask anyone to borrow money. If I can't find a job, my family will really go hungry, and I might even be evicted by the landlord." He Yuanhui said, "That's too tragic." Jiaoning Sun said, "Yes, one of the reasons why I recruited him is that he is a bit miserable, but the most important reason is that his driving skills are really good, and there are really no violations or accidents." He Yuanhui nodded. The two of them continued to wait. Several more people passed by to submit their resumes one after another, but the person in charge didn't take a fancy to them, and neither did Jiaoning Sun, who could tell fortunes. It's not like I was fired from my last company because I often drove aggressive cars. Just because you are careless, your driver's license will be deducted by more than 8 points every year. Some even injured people while driving. She did not dare to put the lives of her family members in their hands. Soon, another man in his 40s came and handed over his resume. The HR officer took a look at the resume and said, "Ren Kwanshan, show me your truck driver's license." Ren Kwanshan immediately put it on the table. The personnel officer glanced at it and nodded, "Your conditions are in line with our recruitment requirements. Our company's salary is temporarily $2,000 and $5,000 a month. There is no meal allowance at noon, and no lunch is provided. You need to bring your own food. Everyone, I have 2 days off every month. If you want, you can start on Monday, the day after tomorrow." Ren Kwanshan frowned, $2,050 a month, and only 2 days of rest a month. Then he doesn't have much time to spend with his family. Every day when he comes home, his children are doing homework and he cannot play with them. In this way, the children will definitely become more and more alienated from him. HR personnel nodded, "Yes, in the future, if the company's drivers ask for leave, you may still drive a truck." Ren Kwanshan, "My last company gave me 3,000 yuan, 4 days off a month, free lunch, work clothes, gifts on holidays, and insurance." Personnel's face darkened and he snorted, "You only have a junior high school degree, so we can only give you so much. If you have a college degree, of course we can give you 3,000, let you rest for 8 days a month, and provide you with meal supplements at noon." What Ren Kwanshan hates most is people who discriminate against his academic qualifications. He doesn't stop studying because he can't study, but because his family has difficulties. His grades when he graduated from junior high school were enough to ensure he could get into a key high school. Since you dislike my academic qualifications so much, then stop forcing each other, I don't want your job anymore. Ren Kwanshan took back his resume and walked away. The personnel said with disdain, "You are really ignorant. I don't believe that with your academic qualifications, you can find a job better than mine. Finally, a suitable one came to you, but you still dislike it. If you can't recruit again today, the boss will definitely ask for it. Get angry with him." Just as Ren Kwanshan took a few steps, Chiao Ningsun walked over and said, "Uncle, if possible, I can give you a job. The salary is 3,000 a month, with 8 days off per month. If you work overtime on weekends, as per the state stipulates salary, insurance, meal subsidy and high temperature subsidy if the temperature is high, and there are holiday expenses and small gifts. 3,000 is just the salary during the probation period. It will be paid based on your performance during the probation period after you become a regular employee. It will only be compared with 3,000. Qian Gao, what do you think?" Personnel was stunned. Where did this little girl come from to steal his employees? Ren Kwanshan listened blankly and asked, "Can you really give such good benefits? Are you kidding me, uncle?" Chiao Ningsun showed him the business license of Chiao's fresh food. "Look, I have a shop. Your usual job is to pick up and drop off people. When you have nothing to do, you help in the shop, just to help carry fruits and vegetables. No, it would be too hard." Renchi suddenly stepped forward, frowned and said, "You little girl, are you doing this on purpose to bring bad luck to me?" Chiao Ningsun raised his eyebrows and said, "I didn't. It was someone else who didn't want the job you gave me, so I came forward to recommend myself. I didn't force him. It was up to him to decide whether to come to my place." She really disliked the way this person looked just now. She just wanted to make him angry. Renchi was immediately angry, but it was hard to say anything. After all, Ren Kwanshan had already rejected him. Ren Kwanshan thought about it and said, "Little girl, is everything you said true?" Chiao Ningsun, "Of course it's true, I won't lie." "Okay, then I will go to your company. Okay, uncle, give me a resume and I will notify you within 3 days, just wait patiently. Good. After Ren Quanshan left, Chiao Ningsun and He Yuanhui were waiting next to them. The man saw them and refused to leave. He frowned and said, "What are you still doing here? Don't think that I don't know what you just did. The first person was also deceived by you." Chiao Ningsun didn't want to talk nonsense with him, and said slowly, "Someone has come to consult, why don't you accept it? If you can't recruit the right person today, I guess it's hard to go back to work, right? Maybe one of them will appear in the talent market tomorrow. It's just you. Because of some personnel issues, I had to let them go for the time being and began to receive people who applied for jobs. But most of them have opinions." "What? Only 2 days off a month? I am a human, not a cow, and my body can't bear it. Just forget it if you can't stand it. Only 2,500 yuan a month, it's too little. Drivers are very tired, so it's only 2,500 yuan. Those who drive taxis can earn 100 yuan by driving dozens of kilometers. If you don't like it, you can rent it yourself. This is the price I have here. You have such a bad attitude towards human affairs. What happened to me after I graduated from high school? Will other people who have graduated from college come to apply for a driver job? Will they take a fancy to a small company like yours? You really have no self-awareness." "Huh, that's my attitude. I'm clearly telling you now that you failed the interview. You don't even have insurance. Drivers are prone to stomach problems and uremia. You don't even have insurance. You're so stingy. Getting sick is your own business. What does it have to do with the company? If you're not satisfied, just leave. If you don't want to do it, there are plenty of people who are willing to do it. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible." Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 248. Perhaps he was stimulated by Chiao Ningsun, and his temper became more and more violent, and he drove away many people. Chiao Ningsun laughed secretly when he saw this. He Yuanhui asked doubtfully, "Cousin, why did you suddenly provoke him and poach the person in front of him?" "Chiao Ningsun, I just gave this man a fortune telling. He is not a good person. He not only domestically abuses his wife, but also domestically abuses his own parents. I don't have to give him face for such a bad person. He Yuanhui, what if he takes revenge on us?" "Chiao Ningsun, don't worry, he's just a man in the house. He doesn't dare to cause trouble outside. He's very afraid of death. Moreover, this man's death is coming, and she doesn't care about the dying man." He Yuanhui was relieved. After a while, a woman in her 30s came to the booth and submitted her resume. When the personnel officer saw that a female driver had applied for the job, he said directly, "We don't recruit women, because women can't bear the hardship." Zhang Zayadai explained anxiously, "I have been driving since I graduated from school. Many people say that my skills are better than those male veteran drivers who have been driving for 20 years, and I have not violated any traffic regulations in the past 10 years. This has never happened in my life accident. My technique is really good." Personnel said coldly, "Then why did you leave your last company?" Zhang Zayadai said very uncomfortably, "There was a man in my last company who pursued me. When I refused to agree, he said that I seduced him because he was a relative of the boss. The boss fired me indiscriminately." The HR officer said again, "Then I don't want you here. The people in my company are all men. He doesn't dare to ask for a female driver. What if the car drives into the river and the boss blames him?" Zhang Zayadai had no choice but to take back her resume and left dejectedly. "It's really hard to find a job." Chiao Ningsun walked over again and explained her family's welfare conditions in front of the person. "Sister, this is it. Are you willing to accept it? She and her mother are both women, and sometimes it is more convenient to use a female driver." The person suddenly said in a strange tone, "You are a woman. You'd better be wary of people who appear suddenly. Be careful of others taking you to the mountains and selling you. Chiao Ningxun still clicked on the business license on his phone and showed it to Zhang Zayadai. I have a shop and I am also a student of number 1 middle school. I like to do things myself, so I came here to recruit people in person. Zhang Zayadai said, you really didn't lie to me. Chiao Ningxun smiled and said, you can go to Chiao's fresh food near number 1 middle school. After confirming that there is really a store there, you can then carefully consider whether to accept it. Of course, you can also look at other companies to compare benefits. Conditions, I won't force you. Zhang Zayadai nodded, okay, I will consider it carefully. Chiao Ningxun accepted her resume, gave her a business card, and left the talent market with He Yuanhui. On the way, He Yuanhui asked, cousin, are you leaving like this? Chiao Ningxun, of course, those people will definitely accept the job I give them. He Yuanhui thought that his cousin could tell fortunes, so he didn't say anything. At night, Chiao Ningxun and He Yuanhui finished their homework together and then started live broadcasting again. He Yuanhui went back to his room to memorize words. His cousin was really good at telling fortunes, and he was worried that he would not be willing to leave once he heard about it. Chiao Ningxun, dear water friends, the anchor has started broadcasting, please support me. She has a lot more spiritual power now. Although she counts the 3 applicants during the day, even if she counts 3 more people at night, it won't affect her body. The anchor is really hard-working, telling fortunes every day without taking a break. Fortunately the anchor didn't take a break, otherwise we wouldn't have had much fun watching it. That is. Chiao Ningxun, in order for everyone to go to bed early, I won't talk nonsense. The old rule is that the person who typed the fortune teller first will have my fortune told for him. Red ribbon, fortune telling. Chiao Ningxun, congratulations on the red ribbon. Seeing that the red ribbon had been paid for, Chiao Ningxun accepted her online application. The water friends were very excited when they saw that it was a beautiful girl. Wow, this young lady is so beautiful. Yes, this is the most beautiful person I have seen since the live broadcast. Does such a beautiful girl have any troubles? Everyone will have troubles. Chiao Ningxun, red ribbon, what do you want to count? Red ribbon, anchor, I have reached the age of marriage, and there are patients at home. I want me to find a man to marry as soon as possible to celebrate her happiness. There are 3 boys around me who grew up with me. I think they are all very good. Their daily behavior makes me very sure that they like me. Moreover, we grew up together and know each other well, and our family members also know each other. I highly recommend choosing one of them. But my best friend said that men are very good at acting before they get married, so I want to ask who should I choose so that I won't regret it for the rest of my life. Oh my God, there are actually 3 boys who like her at the same time, and she doesn't reject them. She is really good looking, and she is popular. I also want such a good thing. If it were me, I would also be confused. If I were her, I would choose the richest one. Haha, me too, everyone likes me anyway, it is the truth to choose the richest one to live a good life for the rest of your life. Chiao Ningxun made some calculations and said, these 3 men are indeed good in appearance and financial situation, but they also have their own shortcomings. The first man is the tallest and most handsome, with an annual salary of 500,000 yuan, but he has one flaw, that is, he loves to drink, and he likes to talk dirty after drinking. Moreover, his parents are very difficult to get along with, and they always want him to find someone. A woman with a higher salary than him thinks that she is worthy of her son. Of course, they don't like you. Red ribbon, yes, my salary is only 10,000 yuan a month. My uncles and aunts really don't like me. They won't say hello when they see me on the road. Although the second man is not as good looking as the first man, he has an annual salary of 600,000. He also has shortcomings, that is, his parents only gave birth to him when they were 40 years old, and his parents are both old. You can marry him, it is inevitable to take care of them. The man also hopes that the person he marries will not work and take care of the elderly at home, and they are very economical and will not agree to such a thing. Red Ribbon, Anchor, you are really great, it is true. Although his salary is high, he also promised to give me 20,000 pocket money every month in the future. Family expenses are not included, but I still hesitate, but I feel that he is drawing cakes for me. The third man is not as good looking as the first and second men, and his annual salary is only 400,000, but his parents are very easy to get along with and he likes you very much. He also has younger brothers and sisters. If you marry, they will definitely be indispensable. Take care of them. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Ching Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 249. Hong Ribbon, yes, each one has advantages and disadvantages. I really don't know which one to choose. Xiaoning Sun, you are really torn. You are most satisfied with the appearance of the first man, but you are afraid of being angry with your parents-in-law. The parents of the second man also watched you grow up and like you very much, but you don't want to be his nanny at a young age. As for the third one, although his parents are now able to raise their youngest son and daughter, you are afraid that they will fall down one day and their youngest son and daughter will want you in the future. Take care of. Red Ribbon, yes, I have concerns about every one of them. Xiaoning Sun, if you follow my suggestion and you have concerns about all three, then find someone else to introduce you to, and choose none of the three. Red Ribbon felt a little uncomfortable. I did go on a blind date with a man introduced by relatives and friends before, but I was not interested in other men. My parents were not very satisfied with those blind dates and wanted me to choose from those three people. 1. In this way, we will live in the same community and know each other well, and there will be no more blind dates in the future. Xiaoning Sun asked, which one do your parents like the most? Red Ribbon, the third one I like the most. Xiaoning Sun, if you really have to choose from those three, I would also advise you to choose the third one. Red Ribbon, what's the reason? Xiaoning Sun, the first two are all problems of the parents. If you choose them, you will get divorced sooner or later. As for the third one, although he has younger brothers and sisters, his parents will take turns to take care of them when they get old. You are also more relaxed. Yeah, if you want me to choose the third one too. But if she is an introvert and is not good at getting along with her siblings, the third one is not suitable for her either. I also feel that I am an only child, so I must find an only child. The Red Ribbon was a little tangled, but my best friend said that if the third man's parents have problems and I also give birth to a child, then I will have to take care of 3 children, which will be too tiring. Xiaoning Sun, I am indeed tired. Red Ribbon, then why do you still advise me to choose the third one? Xiaoning Sun, I said, if you have to choose from those 3, choose the third one. If you really don't like the third one, then you can only give up on all 3. In half a year, you will meet to your true Mr. Right. Hongriday was a little sad, but my mother's illness may not wait until that time. Xiaoning Sun, you can wait. If you think your mother can't wait, that's because the previous medicines were too expensive, costing hundreds of thousands a month. Your family can't afford it, and your mother also wants to leave. However, starting from next month, that drug will be included in the medical insurance. From now on, you will only use a few thousand a month. With your family's financial resources, it can completely support her survival. I gave her a fortune. It won't be a problem to live for another 10 years. Hong Ribbon said with a surprised look on his face, "Are you telling the truth?" Xiaoning Xuan, really? What the anchor says is true is true. You have to trust the anchor, she is very accurate. That's right, just listen to her and wait a little longer. Marrying someone you don't like will harm you for the rest of your life. Although I think you are a bit pretentious, as a woman, I also think you should listen to the anchor. Anyway, it's only for half a year. Agree upstairs. Red Ribbon, okay, I will listen to the host. Thank you to the host. If I really find my Mr. Right, I will come back to thank you. Xiaoning Xuan, okay, I'll wait. Everyone, there are still 2 places left. Let's continue with the old rules and exclude fortune telling. Chocolate cake, fortune teller. Xiaoning Xuan, please pay first. Chocolate cake brushed a carnival, and then applied for a connection. Xiaoning Xuan connected to the line, and a teenage woman appeared in the camera. This girl is so young, as if she has not yet reached adulthood. Yes, although he is average in appearance, he is still good looking. But I think her eyes are not very good. Yes, at such a young age, he looks bitter and full of hatred. Chocolate cake, if you keep talking nonsense, I will report you all. Wow, I am so angry. At a young age, I have a very bad temper. That is, I can't afford to offend you. Haha, like a kitten, its fur suddenly exploded. But I don't know where she is, it's only September and she's already wearing a down jacket. It may also be that you are sick. The chocolate cake suddenly became even more angry. Xiaoning Sun said calmly, "Chocolate cake, what do you want?" The fortune teller this time is Lin Xiaoqiao. She had calculated for Lin Xiaoqiao before that when she went abroad, it would be the same time to return home. The magic spell she cast on her eyes has been broken, and the one on her body is not there yet, which has caused a lot of trouble to her life. Now when she studies, she can only hire a tutor at home. Lin Xiaoqiao was wearing winter clothes, huddled on the bed, and asked, "I want to ask, what's wrong with my body? Why am I so afraid of the cold, and who is harming me? Does this person really think the anchor is a doctor? The anchor does have this ability. She saved a child from the air before. I am new here, is the anchor really that good? Of course, you have to watch it." Xiaoning Sun sneered, "What else could happen? I cast a spell on you. Who is harming you? Of course it's me. No, this girl didn't harm you, I just wanted to teach you a little lesson." Xiaoning Sun coughed slightly and said, "Your body must have offended an expert from outside the world and put a curse on you, so you are extremely afraid of the cold. As for who is harming you, if it is an ordinary person, I can figure it out, but I can't figure it out for those worldly experts." Lin Xiaoqiao was a little disappointed. "I knew a long time ago that I was cursed. The spell on my eyes was broken before, but the spell on my body couldn't be broken. Is the person who cast the spell on me really that powerful? I don't think so. I've watched your live broadcasts many times. You're so awesome. Can't you really count? Xiaoning Xuan, she is really powerful. There are very few people in the world who can match her. I only know a little bit of metaphysics, so how can I be the opponent of such a worldly expert? Lin Xiaoqiao, then can you help me crack it? The anchor's behavior today is a bit strange. Are you casting a curse? Is there really a spell in this world? I think there must be some people who have always been smooth sailing and proud, but suddenly become decadent and crazy. It feels like they have been cursed, which is what is said on the internet, and they have been lowered. No, the more you talk about it, the more scared I become. If there really is a spell, will there be ghosts and gods in the world? Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 250. Of course there are ghosts and gods, but they generally don't appear, show their spirits, or scare people. Yes, if no one in this world has seen ghosts or been hurt by ghosts, I think maybe people are scarier than ghosts, and ghosts can't do anything to those bad people. Xiao Ningxun was about to say no, but then she thought that if she really helped Lin Xiao today and could prove to the live broadcast room that she could solve the spell, then the number of people in her live broadcast room would definitely increase in the future. Even if she gives her the solution this time and makes her comfortable for 2 days, Lin Xiao will still be able to relapse in 2 days. Xiao Ningxun thought for a moment and said seriously, I can try it, but whether it has any effect or not, I have to try it before I know. Lin Xiao suddenly became excited, okay, you give it a try. Xiao Ningxun added, but it takes too much effort to solve the curse. I have to eat a lot of food to make up for it. Lin Xiao said nothing and shouted, Butler. The butler was very discerning and immediately used the Lin family's dolphin video account to reward Xiao Ningxun with a gift of 100,000 yuan. Xiao Ningxun looked at the special effects and felt very satisfied. There was nothing more satisfying than asking her enemies to give her money. Oh my god, I met a rich man again. She also has a housekeeper, she is the eldest lady of I don't know which company. I am really envious. It may take me several years to earn these rewards tonight. The anchor is so versatile, he can actually break the curse. It seems that the anchor still has many abilities that we don't know about. The anchor must be a member of Suanmen, who goes down the mountain to save the world. After a while, the reward will end. Lin Xiao said, Anchor, can you break the curse for me now? Xiao Ningxun, of course, you can wait. For the sake of money, let me make you feel comfortable for a few more days. She walked aside and did not let herself appear in the live broadcast room. Instead, she was next to the computer and recited a mantra to Lin Xiao in the live broadcast room. After waiting for 2 minutes, Xiao Ningxun returned to the live broadcast room and said, Chocolate cake, you can try not wearing it so thickly. Lin Xiao quickly did as she said. Sure enough, even if she only wore short sleeves, she didn't feel cold anymore. Lin Xiao returned to the live broadcast room and said with a face of surprise, Anchor, you are really amazing. I can finally live a normal life. Did the host do anything when he left the live broadcast room just now? Is it really solved? It looks like it is. But why do I feel a bit fake, as if the chocolate cake is a lie? Upstairs, it can't be fake. I've seen that chocolate cake. She's the eldest lady of a listed company. I've also heard that she's been treating illnesses abroad and recently returned to China, but I didn't expect that she was actually raped by someone cursed. I have also heard about it, and it has been in the news before. That person's name is Lin Xiao. His parents had been asking for referrals for people to treat their illnesses. I heard that they tried countless times with ancient medicine and Western medicine, but in the end hot baths were not the best solution use. Oh, I see. Xiao Ningxun, thank you for your praise. I just gave it a try. I can't say for the moment whether it can be cured. Lin Xiao, I still want to thank you very much. Don't worry, I will be your loyal fan from now on. Xiao Ningxun, it's up to you. If it relapses next time, you can come to me again. Relapse is bound to happen, and she will not make things easier for her enemies in her previous life. Lin Xiao, okay. Xiao Ningxun cut off the connection and said, there is still one spot, everyone, hurry up and still add the word fortune telling, let's get started. Anchor, are you a cultivator of immortality? Yeah, you used to be able to save people from a distance and make people tell the truth involuntarily, but now you can actually break curses. It's really amazing. I also think that the anchor must be a person who cultivates immortality. Seeing that they all guessed correctly, Xiao Ningxun coughed slightly and said, how could I be a cultivator of immortality? If I were a cultivator of immortality, I must have many abilities. There is no need to stay up late every day to tell fortunes. I would have done it long ago. There are other ways to make money. That's right, gods are omnipotent. The anchor is an ordinary person, otherwise how could she be afraid of being seen by others? That's right, you people with ulterior motives want the anchor to be noticed, so get them to study it. That's it, I almost believed that the anchor was a cultivator just now. I guess it was because the anchor's colleagues saw the anchor's live broadcast room becoming more and more lively, so they said this on purpose. Xiaoningsun said, okay, don't guess. I am indeed an ordinary person. If no one mentions fortune telling within 2 minutes, I will cancel the broadcast. After saying that, she made a decision to ignore the live broadcast room, asking them to ignore the fact that she might be a cultivator of immortality. These water friends are so awesome that they actually hit the mark right away. Sure enough, regardless of the decision, the topic discussed by those people immediately moved to the next calculation of the quota. More than 10 people were told fortunes at the same time. The bright moonlight in front of the bed, fortune teller. Xiaoningsun, congratulations on the bright moonlight in front of the bed. Minjiao Egwang in front of the bed, pay quickly and apply for a connection. Xiaoningsun connected, and a pair of old people appeared in the live broadcast room. Xiaoningsun asked, you two, what do you want to do? The old man said, anchor, this is the account my grandson applied for me. Next to me is my wife. I want to ask, can you calculate what happened more than 20 years ago? Xiaoningsun, as long as the conditions are sufficient, of course you can. The two old men suddenly became excited. The old lady said, anchor, I would like to ask, of the twins I gave birth to more than 20 years ago, when I was 40 years old, was one of them really a dead baby? Did she suspect that her child was not dead? Perhaps, this kind of thing has happened in the hospital before. Although the babies were born alive, the nurse told the mother that one of them was stillborn, just to steal the babies and sell them. There is indeed such a person. A baby could be sold for tens of thousands at that time. More than 20 years ago, tens of thousands could buy a house and the whole family could make a fortune. Some people would take risks and do such things. Those people are too abominable, they should go to the 18th level of hell. But the anchor is a fortune teller. Why do I feel that her style of painting has begun to change? Yes, I am a loyal fan of the anchor. Now the anchor can not only tell fortunes, but also help the police solve crimes. In her live broadcast room, she has sent several people to the police station. The anchor is also good at finding evidence. No matter what the case is, she seems to be able to find it. Could the anchor be from some secret department of the country? The anchor is probably really a god. He sees that human beings are suffering too much, so he comes down to earth to save all sentient beings.